Good evening, and welcome to Having a Drink with Mink. I'm your host, Jason Mink, and tonight, I just might. Thank you for joining us. It's great to see ya. How you been? I have to say that this particular episode is dedicated to my good friend, Darren Nisbet. Darren is no longer with us. Circumstances have dictated that he go elsewhere. But while he was here, I have to say that he was one of the finest people that I'd ever had the opportunity to meet. He was a funny son of a bitch. He was a wonderful person, very compassionate individual, very knowledgeable, especially about vintage action figures. As far as sharing that knowledge, he was second to none. Very good dude, did a lot for the community, and as far as all of the things, all of the gifts that he gave me over the years, I have to say that his friendship is the most valued and treasured to this day. Wherever you are, Darren, I know that it's unlikely that this video, of all videos, you'll see, but this one's for you, buddy. Cheers. And that's right, we're going to get right to it. I went to my local comic book shop. That's, say it with me now, Ides Entertainment in downtown Pittsburgh. If you happen to be in beautiful downtown Pittsburgh, make sure you stop at Ides Entertainment for all your comic book needs. What were my comic book needs this week? Well, it's funny you should ask. We have Action Comics number 357. This is a beautiful beta reader I picked up featuring Superman against the toughest kids in the world. It's the Kryptonite Rumble. I'm not sure if it's a rumble or if it's an interpretive dance, but Superman seems to be happy, and, you know, that's pretty important as far as it goes. What next? We have Betty and Veronica. I always pick these up. This is a nice 15-center when I can find a good deal on these, 80 cents. Next up, it's the World of Archie, and here the kids are cutting a rug. They're actually cutting the beach up, and there's Dilton even getting a little action. Go Dilton. Then we have the World of Jughead. Would you believe there's an entire world? Look! There's his mother. They're the spitting image of each other. That's kind of terrifying, folks. I picked up some Atlas. What do we have here? This is number 3 of Weird Suspense featuring the Tarantula. Definitely have to check that out in the future. CFB, as the kids are calling them these days. And then we have Atlas Comics, Tiger Man number 3. We just looked at Tiger Man number 1 on Comics for Breakfast. I picked up number 3, as well as a number of these other Atlas books, more or less to give to my good friend Mike Jones, if he doesn't have these, or otherwise anyone who hasn't been converted to the Atlas way of life, because Atlas Comics, they sure are a lot of fun. Doomsday -1. Check that dude out, the Destructor. Very Kirby-esque action going on right there. And then what do we have here? Whoa, it's Sergeant Stryker's Death Squad, featuring Andy Griffith. Look at him. He's got to reach that grenade. Nothing less will stop the Nazi tank. Nothing. Don't settle for less, folks. Atlas Comics, they're not going to sell you short. Oh, and super thrilled to pick this up. This was, there are always a few oddballs when you go and poke around Ides, and this was certainly one of them. I paid 75 cents for this. This is a copy of Smitty from 1949. Who? That's right, 1949. And also we have Archie's joke book right here. And here's Betty getting the best of old Veronica. Those two. When are they going to get a room, huh? And here's a book that you don't see all that often. People love the Archies, but didn't realize that Reggie had his own book as well. That's Archie's rival, Reggie. And this was number, I believe, it's not number 15, because this is number 15, because the bag told me so. But how cool is that? A couple Reggie books. Then we have Life with Archie. Oh, and this features the first man from Riverdale. Next up, it's PEP number 145, and this is a notable issue because it's autographed by artist Stan Goldberg. That's right, 491. Someone was able to procure this particular signature, and I'm certainly thrilled. This is my first autographed comic. How cool is that, ladies and gentlemen? The answer, very cool. I won't accept any other answer. Next up, hey, here's the sort of thing you don't see every day, department. But, I've often seen folks post these books, and I had to have my own copy of Spoof number 2, featuring the Bunker Gang. And that's some striking artwork, to say the least. And then we also have number 4 here. And this has a wonderful Blackula cover. Very, very cool. Quite like that. Oh, and we're going to wrap things up as far as my recent finds with this. It's Tippy's Friend Go-Go, number 13. And I'm always happy to pick these books up. I'm a huge fan of the Tower Comics Tippy line, Tippy, Go-Go, and all those Archie clones. Can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Absolutely not. And while I was down at Ives, my good friend Kenny, well, he said, hey, I'll tell you what. I have a couple other books you might be interested in as well. I got a big pile of treasure chest comics. Now, I don't know if you're hip to these, but apparently they're religious-based. You wouldn't necessarily know it by this particular cover, which features David Letterman, older David Letterman, and a child bleeding out of his mouth with a knife, and a dead fish. As you will, folks. As you will. But, I was certainly thrilled to add those to the Old Guys Who Like Old Comics archive. Thank you, Kenny. Gosh knows. All right. So what could possibly be left after that thrill ride? Well, I'm going to talk to you about 13 comics that I didn't realize I had. That's right. Cut to the graphic, please. Upon. What do we have first? Well, it's Adventures into the Unknown, and this is 162, featuring Nemesis in Lost Souls. Next up, what do we have here? Oh, can you believe I've never read this particular issue of Batman? I sure can't. I remember back in the day when they would advertise this. I saw this in the various back pages of DC Comics, and I thought, holy cow, the Riddler finally murdered Batman. And we got Tales of Sword and Sorcery, featuring Dagar, the Invincible, don't you know? Oh, yeah, look at him there. Next up, we have Sergio Aragones Gru. Is that how you pronounce it? Aragones. I think that's pretty on the nose. Speaking of on the nose, I do remember this one. Le Vincebel Hombre Hierro. And then at the back, I guess this is my favorite part of it. It's Se agaton les mascaras di el supremedente hombre arana. And that's Spider-Man for you playing along at home. Somehow I've never read this. Why? Because I can't speak Spanish. But I'll look at the pictures for sure down the line. Speaking of looking at the pictures, here are some pictures that will be burned into your brain forever. We have a bald Jimmy Olsen in Underground Trigger Man. We have Jimmy Olsen as the rock and roll star. Got kind of a Bob Dylan Boxcar Willie thing going on. Texas Millionaire. And, of course, Mobster's Mole. Next up, we have an issue of Johnny Quest from Comico. This is number 5, and this was written by William Messner Loebs. That's right, Bill Loebs wrote this particular book. It has a wonderful cover by Dave Stevens. How cool is this? Somehow I've never actually cracked this bag. What's my problem? I'm going to take myself aback. I'm going to flog myself. And then after that, I may even do something that hurts. What next? Hey, it's Mars Patrol. Total War! And unless you think this takes place on Mars, like I did when I bought it, well, this is the Marine Attack Rescue Service. And for all I know, this could be taking place out in my backyard right now. Maybe I should look out the window every once in a while. All right, next up. That is not flatulence, by the way. That's my creaky chair. You know, if... see, it's not going to creak now. You got me, creaky chair. You got me. Creaky chair 1, Mink 0. That's right. What next? We have the first edition. These are the magnificent superheroes. Don't settle for less, folks. You're better than that. I picked this up about 9 months ago. I was thrilled to get it. If you remember seeing this advertised in the little advertising back in the old comics that, you know, we all loved so much. Look, you got the Hangman, Daredevil, the Shield, and so much more. Now, when I got this, I cracked it open, and it was black and white, kind of crummy reproductions to boot, and I was a little put off, to be honest with you. You know, I'd waited decades to get this book. I'm sure the contents of it are fantastic, and I'm remiss in not reading it right now, but this is one of 13 books that I haven't read. There it is. Did you hear that? Did you hear it? I swear to God, it's the chair. It's not me. I haven't even eaten anything this evening. I have a sandwich that's waiting for me. I'm certainly very excited to eat it, and I'll probably be making those noises about an hour after I eat it. But in the meantime, I'm telling you, it's just the chair. It really is. What's next? Oh, now, could you believe that I've never read Miracle Man? That's right. What kind of credibility do I have? It's quickly dwindling in your eyes. I can see it. It really is. I feel the distance growing between us as we speak. It's just one of those things. When I was growing up, this book was kind of hard to come by. The fact that I found these issues at all was sort of a freak thing. Maybe they're easier to find now, but when I picked these up, I thought, oh, great. And I knew that there were more than just the, I have 1 and 2, and I think 3, but I knew that there were like 6, 9, 15, 87, and I kind of wanted to read them, so I didn't read them. Next up, I won this particular issue as a door prize at a convention that I attended to a few years back. This is Giant Superman Annual number 1. This is a reprint, obviously, but what a cool book this is. It contains a number of fantastic stories that I'm certainly thrilled to add to the collection, and then we get this nifty little gallery on the back, famous first issues, save these souvenir covers. And I gotta say, I was a little disappointed because these stories aren't in this book. I would have loved to have had Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane number 1, but maybe they're out there in another reprint like this. If they are, let me know in the comments section below, because I'm always looking for stuff like that. Gosh knows. There it was. Surely you heard that sound. Yeah, that's it. What's going on now? That's right. Then we have Untamed Love. The best love is untamed love. Now, these particular stories are by Frank Frazetta. And how cool is that to have all of those stories under one cover? I'm so wildly in love with you that I can't go on reciting love lines and taking you in my arms when it's all a mockery and a sham. And she seems as put out by that reading as I am. Should I do that again? No, we all have better things to do. You get the idea. It's Untamed Love #1. Wrapping things up, we have Dell's Werewolf. Werewolf? Herewolf. No, I had talked about Dell's Dracula on a previous Comics for Breakfast, and what a stinkeroo that particular book was. As one of the guys in the Old Guys Who Like Old Comics group had said, those are brain cells I will never get back. But I'm certainly thrilled to have these in the collection because I like to think that no matter what, there's going to be something in one of these books that's going to give me at least a modicum of enjoyment, just a little bit of entertainment. That's really what it's all about, folks. So thank you very much for joining us on this very particular episode of Having a Drink with Mink. I'm your host, the very particular Jason Mink, and I hope to see you next time. Next up, well, what do we got here? It's Johnny Quest, boy. Oh, that's right. No, we probably shouldn't talk in that voice. No one's going to want to hear that.